All right, so this is Good, Bad, and Ugly Real Estate Investment Show because
Episode.
episode 5. Because,
No.
because what?
Episode.
Episode 4. Well, my bad. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Whatever. All right, so this is episode 4. Um, because it's important, I think, for people to see the struggles and everything that people go through and the difficulties and the work that goes into real estate as it comes to you. Because if you can see that from us, and then you can also see where we go and how well we do, maybe it'll benefit you, maybe it'll encourage you to get involved, but also allow you to know that there is a lot of work involved with it. Right, Elise? Yes. All right. Well, first thing we do, disclaimer. Are we highly trained, highly licensed professionals?
No formal training.
No.
Any of the things that we're doing.
No, we do not. No, we do not. We know. We just read a bunch of books and watched a bunch of stuff and studied on it for a while, and now we're doing it, which means you can't believe a word we say legally. So don't.
Legal reasons.
If we say something, go look it up, research it. Then you'll know it's true, especially within your state and within your laws. And that way you can know it is factually true. And all we're giving you is what we're doing, whether it works or not. Right?
Just because something works for us doesn't mean it will work for you.
Nope, especially if you're stupid. All right. Yeah, it's true. But nobody's actually stupid. Only stupid in certain areas. I might be really good at basketball and really crappy at real estate. That doesn't mean I'm stupid. That just means I'm stupid at basketball. And that's pretty much it. Like, there's no, I'm not good at basketball, by the way. I'm totally flipped. I am horrible at basketball. So, in respective to a basketball player, I am stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm stupid. All right. So, the thing we're going to be promoting is still Bigger Pockets.
Podcast, and if you are just getting into real estate, you can definitely go back to some of their older episodes. They have a ton of episodes. And as the show grows, so does their. It
Yeah.
gets to lots bigger stuff that you wouldn't really need to know until you get bigger.
Yeah. So if you're just looking about, okay, how am I going to purchase this property? How am I going to purchase a couple properties? What financing do I need? Then earlier shows are going to give you a little bit more of that. But some of the information might be slightly outdated, but most of it really does still pertain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bigger Pockets also has a website that you can go to and you can check forums of other people who are doing real estate, and you can find people who do real estate in your state,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll just help you learn.
Oh, yeah. And any questions you have, you can bring it there, and then you'll have like 6 professionals or novices. You really can't tell. That's why you got to research everything you get information on. It's
Yes.
important. Take everything with a grain of salt. So you get these 6 people, they give you a bunch of information on everything you're looking for, and then you have a really good place to start if you were stuck in a bind. So it's an awesome thing. Alrighty, so we're going to go into the house updates, like our search for the properties, and what's going on with the properties we currently have. So this is pretty much going to take up the majority of the show. We're not really going to do a loan update because there's not really much to say. Oh, except we got our HELOC loan.
We did get a
Yes.
so now we have the ability to.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a credit card. You're not going to use it to buy and hold. You're going to use it to buy and then pawn off. We'll get into that with the whole real estate thing because we're going over that property that we actually currently have in the works. So there will be kind of a loan update. And that's about it. You ready to go into it?
Yep.
Alrighty. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. Boop. Here we go. Hi. I gotta get that down. That's the wrong one too. Get that down. And there it is. Here's my little mousey. All right, cool. I hope you guys can see everything just as well as I can. So, awesome. It worked this time?
It looks good.
Nice. Well, everything seems to be working this time, so that's kind of nice. Hey, make sure you're working good and keep an eye on comments.
I'm looking.
Oh, wow. We have so many people watching this right now.
Me.
Just you. There's nobody watching. Nobody cares. All right. So what we're going to go over first is this property that we've had in the works for a while. We went back and forth on it. I tried to make the numbers do the best with the numbers that we had. Good property, good amount of income from it, but not for what had to be invested. And that's the issue. So you can have a good amount of cash flow. You can have, a great property that gains a lot of equity. But if you put too much money into that property, that's the basis of this. You don't want to put $100,000 in it just to receive $1,000 a year. It just, it wouldn't be worth it. Okay, that was a silly explanation. But you'll see what I'm saying here in a minute. So down here we have, that is the wrong one. Don't look at that one yet. That's not for you yet. Aha, now we're on the right property. Forget what you saw. That's later. Jeez. Trying to look forward in this situation. Okay, so
this one.
This is the farmhouse, or 8 Mile Roadhouse.
Okay.
Yep. Not 8 Mile as in Detroit 8 Mile, where most of us are from. Not from, but no, not that 8 Mile. There was some confusion on that earlier with somebody. It was pretty funny. No, good for them. They're fine. They were like, that's a pretty rough area to buy in. And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, 8 Mile. No, different 8 Mile Road in Oklahoma. Not a bad area.
No, it's not bad.
No.
In the country, not bad.
Yes. That's what I'm doing wrong. Give me a second. Okay. I still got to get used to operating this while I'm talking and while she's talking without making it look obvious that I'm operating it. So what we have here is we have this property. This is there we go. This is the 8 Mile property. So this property, larger farmhouse, 2,300 square feet, 2 acres of land, beautiful little location, about 20 minutes out of Lawton, which is perfect because some people love to drive that 20 minutes to and from work.
Not just that, but it's towards a town that a lot of people actually, their spouses work in. So
Yes.
So we primarily are used to getting military renters because we live in Lawton, and Lawton has Forest Hill. So we are used to military renters. So a lot of the military spouses are in the medical field. I've noticed. And a lot of them like to work over in this town that's about 20 minutes away.
Yeah, so it's about 10 minutes from the property, and the base is actually 20 minutes from the property, 30 minutes altogether. So it's a really good location because a lot of people do like to live in Duncan or go to Duncan.
Or
their spouse works in Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so location good, size of the property good, size of the house really good. 4-car garage, a place where you can pull an RV in. And it's got all the hookups, electric, sewer, and plumbing. So you could also have an RV, fully functioning RV, under a complete enclosure. And they wanted we actually got the deal for $161,500, which is good. Yeah, which is pretty good. Here's the dealio. So the numbers look good to this extent. So the mortgage payment was going to be $831. You have your management fee. You have your contractor loan because the payment for your contractor loan, because we're using lending money to also fix up the property to an extent. Then we have so the cash flow was going to be $640 a month. That's okay. The mortgage paid down about $1,881. And then down here, you'll see we had about a return on investment of about 19%. No, 20% is great. And, people really search for investors that can get a 20% return on their investments. And that's good. They'll go in cahoots with them. They'll invest with them. They'll get 20%. And that's awesome. That's good. But for us,
like something a little better.
Yeah, a little bit better. 20% is good, but we're looking for a little bit higher than that. And then, for what we had to invest in this property, it just didn't make financial sense to go for it right now. Plus, there were some questions about the property itself, the house, and the construction that was built in. If it was gonna have further issues, there was definitely a lot of back and forth on the septic field. Some were, yes, some the current owners, previous owners were like, oh no, it's good, and then some of the neighbors were like, oh no, it's not. So there were some questionable things with the construction, and then underneath the house and just a bunch of things. So at this current moment, it didn't really work out, and the numbers weren't really showing as good as some of our other opportunities. So we decided, we're still currently there, but we're pretty on on point to dropping that contract.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yep. So that's what you're looking at there. Now, I want to go on a little bit of something different where, and I believe, here we go. We're back to this one. This is what we try to do something where, so what you can do is you can actually increase your return on investment, because how we do it is we get a short-term loan, we get a contractor loan, and we use those two things to purchase the property and then to fix up the property. And then we take, and at the end of that period of time, we refinance it into a 30-year fixed loan. And that's the goal, and that's the plan. And when we refinance it into that 30-year fixed loan, we also switch it from one LLC to the other LLC, which is our holding LLC, which is going to take a lot of the liability that we do for the security of the LLC is in the first LLC, which is Consortium of Ancients, where we hold and fix up the properties. And then when we refinance them into these 30-year loans, we move them into Dragon Realty currently, which is where they'll sit and actually rent out. So that way you're separating your risk. You know, somebody falls off a ladder during construction, somebody, you know, I don't know, anybody, the seller that you bought it from wants to sue you. All these things are being separated from your currently held properties in your company that holds your properties. So you don't have to worry about this property, somebody getting to all your other properties through that property.
Right.
So, security thing. So when we do that, we refinance into a 30-year loan, smash all the money together, and put it into Dragon Realty. When we do that, we can change the numbers in order to get a larger return on investment. So if we bought the property for $161,000, we can then take and borrow against it $175,000, right? And when we get that $175,000, we pay off the other loan, and then we get a little cash in our hands. We take that cash in our hands, we give it out by percentage of investment to the investors, bring down their cost, therefore bringing up their ROI. But we ran the numbers. We tried to do this with this property. We ran the numbers, and every single when I did it a few times over, I really didn't change very much. I got it up to a 25% ROI. Nope, that's not it. Okay, here it is. 8 Mile. It was at a 19. Now let's go to the other one. And have it again here. There we go. I call it the farmhouse in this one. Same property though. And I was able to get, 19% there, 21% there. So even though I ran the numbers at different price points with, different amounts, I was still getting right around 19, 21%. So that's about it. There's not really, not much I could do there without. So kind of how it works too is if you raise the price too much, you're going to shrink your gap of equity. Therefore, you're going to bring up your risk. So raising the amount you're going to get on your next loan is going to get you more money back, which means you're going to get a better ROI, which is this percent right here. So it's going to get a higher ROI, which means that the cost it takes you to purchase the property. Yes. So this percentage is based on return on investment, which means it will gain this much of what you paid into it every year. So 19% of what we put into it in total, which is right here, will come back to us every year. So if we want to increase this, we have to borrow more money when we refinance it to put more money in our pocket to bring down this cost, to bring up our ROI. But what we do is when we do that, it brings down this little percentage right here, which this is the percent that we could drop the rent of the property with while able to still maintain the property and the cash flow to a certain extent. So we can drop our rents by 38%, and we're still maintaining cash flow. So I push that limit, but I don't like to go beyond like 38. It's just not safe. If the market fluctuates and there's a drop in the market and you have to drop your rental rates, then you might look at having a negative cash flow.
That was the farmhouse. Now let's move on to.
Alrighty. So these two houses right here are currently, we'll look at the first one. So we found a property. Our real estate agent, Lori Canada, actually found it. And she said, hey, while you're looking at this property, how about after this one, we go look at a property I found? And I had seen this one, but it was like an aerial view photo of it. So
that was the only photo.
That was the only photo. So I hadn't had a chance to go actually look at the house and see if it had an attached garage. So I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. And she said it does have an attached garage, so you could maybe convert the garage into living space.
Because this house is very small.
Yes. And so this house is a 800 square foot house.
Yes.
800 square feet. In a little house. Never split a little baby in it, take a lot. So, okay, so it's a little house, but it had a 547, I believe, very close to that, 547 square foot garage.
Yes. So this garage is
Huge. So it's almost the same size as the house.
yes, it's really close.
Comically weird. So what you can do is, and I've talked about this in previous videos, is you can take and you can convert the garage to living space, put up a wall instead of a door, and yes, you're losing that garage, but you're gaining tons of square footage, and you're turning the house into a 13, just guessing, real close to 1,367 square feet. I think it was. I was wrong the first time. It wasn't. Yes. So the property, the garage was bigger. It was like 567. It was a big garage. So anyway, we ran the numbers. It came close to almost 1,400 square feet if we were to convert the garage. So in essence, the cost of the property, we actually got this one under contract, and we're going to be paying cash on this one. So this is where it really gets exciting. So we can actually buy this property in cash with the new HELOC loan that we got, and some investor money. So we take investor money, the HELOC loan, combine it together, pay cash for the property. The property is going to cost us $54,853. Yep. There's the reason why we picked that weird number, and we'll talk about it in the future maybe. I'm sure I will. All right, I'll talk about it right now. So odd numbers, a little over the median price, state that you're at your upper limit without saying it.
Yeah,
So
it kind of makes them think that that's
yeah, so stick to odd numbers at the upper limits. So 54,853 might get you better odds of a sale than 53,000 even. Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, back on topic. So we're going to be paying 54,853 if it goes through.
as long as it all goes through. We still have to inspect.
Yep, we still got to do the inspection, make sure there's no real big issues. But hey, it's a great looking house. Brand new furnace, heater unit, roof's not too bad.
The roof might need some attention, but it didn't look like it was falling to pieces.
Yeah, no. Anyway, there's going to be some conversion we have to do.
It's going to take a bit to flip it, but buying cash means that your holding cost is super low, as in literally you're only paying for the utilities that you use to pay there.
That's it.
And you have no mortgage on it. So the holding cost would be extremely low.
Yep. As you can see down here, we have about 2.5 months of holding costs that we have expected. Yeah, go ahead and check on that. I'll explain this. We got about about 2.5 months of holding costs expected on this property. So that's going to be right around $700 bucks. So not bad. Holding costs are nothing compared to $4,000, $3,000 that we expect when we have a loan on our property. So we're saving thousands of dollars right there. And I'll just go down through the list at this point. So the actual down payment is zero, because your down payment is that you're buying the property. So there's no down payment that's actually going to be lost continuously. So you could say, oh, but you're buying the whole property. But yes, that is the case. But for a purchase of a property, you have to pay a down payment, and it has to stay in the loan. You don't actually get to buy it back out later. So your down payment is money you've invested into the loan, and it stays there. With buying in cash, that doesn't stay there. It actually comes back to you a few months later. So we have the down payment, which is zero. We have the closing costs, which are going to be significantly lower because you actually don't have to go through all the rhetoric that a lending company requires. You're still going to do a lot of the different things, like going to a
Search and stuff.
yeah.
Title and closing company.
You're going to go to a title and closing company. You're going to probably pay about $600-800 for all the things that they do there. And then, you have a few other things. Attorney's going to look over your paperwork, different things that are still going to cost money, but it's going to be a lot less, probably a few thousand less than your normal closing would cost you. So then after that, we have, that's just labor cost. I have to add that in there in order to get the correct numbers on our future. So this is an estimation of our cost of labor from people working on the property to flip it. So we've saved a lot of money there in our purchase and remodel costs with purchasing in cash.
Right.
So how this works is after you purchase the property, You remodel the property, you up the value of the property. So the property should be worth about $110,000 by the time we finish. And then we will get another loan because we paid in cash, remember. We'll get another loan on the property. They'll give us the money out of the bank. We will pay off our HELOC. We'll pay off any other extra costs we had for supplies and holding costs, or something similar to that. And then we'll, if we have any money left, which we can choose the amount we get out of this property. So
Right.
we're going to,
Because based on the equity of the property, that's how you
yes. So we're going to, look at our ROI, and we're going to look at our safety margin, and we're going to decide how much we want back out of that property. It's
Because based on how much we borrow against the equity of the house when we decide to pay it off, will be how much the mortgage payment will be. So we don't want to
yes.
take too much money out of this house. The mortgage payment will be astronomical.
Yes. So in essence, we could get paid to purchase, flip, and make money off the property. We could literally have nothing invested, have money come to us, sit in our pockets just to invest in the property that's going to make us more money. But you're losing your safety margin. If the market crashes, you might lose properties.
We like a lot of margin.
And we like margin. That's why we're safer than your average bear. Which doesn't sound great because bears aren't safe depending on the bear, But I guess we're safer than your average bear.
So you're safer than Yogi Bear.
Yes, we're safer than Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear has
Yep, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm just gonna run with it. It's staying the way it is. So I'll walk down the line a little bit more here. Our mortgage payment's gonna be small. It's gonna be about $479 once we refinance. Oh, I'm sorry. It is gonna be higher than this. No, that's based on $62,000. So this is based on $62,000 refinance. It's gonna be $479, including taxes and insurance. So pretty small. Management fee, $100. There will be no contractor loan because we're probably going to be using our own money to finance the flip. We are going to be using investor money to finance the flip. So there will be no contractor loan. We're going to go down here. Our gross rent will be $1,050, and we'll only be netting about $466 a month. But that's $466 a month when we only paid $13,300 in total cost to flip this property. So for $13,300, you're going to get back $5,592 in cash flow a year. No, cash flow and a mortgage pay down a year. So that ends up being 42% of your money back in your pocket within the first year of renting it out. And so these aren't for sure numbers. These are estimations based on what we have currently. So no promises. Anybody invest with us, these are not promises. These are estimations. Do your own research. These are projections. Do your research and see what you come up with. If it's similar and you want to put in on this one, then we have a couple slots yet left. Now, because the amount of cash money that we actually need on this property isn't a lot, we are limiting it down to 4 investors.
We are having a limit.
Yes. And we can't be, having 14 investors in one property that only costs $13,000. At the same time, we're not really trying to have one of the people that invest with us own every single property just because they have more money than the rest.
Yeah.
So we're also, yes.
A little bit of trouble just trying to figure out how to do it the right way.
Yeah, they would work out there. Yes. Now, the amount of money that these 4 investors invest does not matter to us as far as the little amount. If one person says, I want to invest $1,000, and the other person says, I want to invest $10,000, that's perfectly fine as long as they can all fit within this amount of money that we need.
And this house, depending on what happens while we are remodeling it, if we should need more investor cash, we would open it up.
Yeah, we could potentially open it up to one more investor, or we would open it up to our current investors to maybe add in more money to get them more of the return. So,
it just depends on how.
Yep.
Because you never know how much money you're having for a house. Like you said, these are projections.
Yes.
You never know how much you're actually going to need until you get in and start to over.
That is the risk in real estate. All right, so yeah, so we got the current house that we have under contract, and I'm calling it the cheap house
Because it's cheap.
because it's cheap, and it looks like it's going to be making about. Oh, look at them! Not like I don't show the rest of the numbers on here like I do on the other ones. Look at it. I have our yearly and total. Whatever. Yeah, so it's looking like it's going to be making about $5,592 a year, with a total of 42% return on investment and 44% that we could drop the rents on that and still not lose the property. So fantastic. All right, we're going to move to the next property. We just put an offer on this property today, and what we did was we actually used something special. It's called an escalation clause. So with this property, which we had on the first one too, but they didn't use it. So the owner of the property does not get to see, as long as you're working with trustworthy people that don't want to lose their real estate licenses, and that's why they have licenses, because they're trusted and they've sworn to adhere to the rules. You can put in a bid on a property with an escalation clause, which in this case we put a bid of 76. I'll use the little cursor. 76,873, using that same method before, having the odd over middle center numbers or whatever. 76,873 with an escalation clause of up to, and this doesn't actually have the right number, it's 92,600 and something.
Some weird number that right.
Yes. So what happens is they see the offer of $76,873, and that's what they see. Yes. And so then if we get outbid, if somebody comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to offer $80,000 for this property, $82,000. Yeah, the 82nd, $82,000 for this property. Then our clause will automatically put us above their bid on the property by $1,000. Yes. So now we will be bidding on the property at $83,000.
Yes.
And if they come back and say, oh, somebody outbid me? All right, we'll put in a bid for $85,000. Then our clause will automatically, once again, jump above theirs by $1,000.
It'll move up to whatever our top number is. So if they keep raising it a little bit, ours will go up until it hits our top number.
Which is
our top number.
Yes. So it's kind of like cheating. It's like you don't have to think about it because it's out of the Dollar Guy. Oh, yes. That's horrible. Now I feel kind of bad. Oh, and you just want to beat him. So yeah, we're the dollar people. Now you can hate us. So yeah, so we don't have to talk to a real estate agency. It automatically jumps up $1,000 above any bids.
And it keeps it from having our realtor like, oh no, they got in, I have to get hold of them. And then
yes.
Get hold of us, or if they couldn't get because they were meeting or something, then they don't feel like they're losing out on it for their client.
Yes. So you can use this, and like I said, yes, could somebody say to somebody else, hey, your escalation clause goes up to $92,000?
Yeah, that's illegal. So
it's illegal, and they can lose their licenses. So you know what? Try to use it and try to work with honest people that don't want to lose their licenses. So, yeah.
We always recommend if you are looking for a realtor, you should check with the local REIA.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a rental investment group. I don't think we've ever said this tip before. But which is a local rental, like a renters association. And if you find them, they usually have a list of realtors that they like.
Absolutely.
And generally, if they like the realtors, they're good people and you can trust them.
Recommendations from people that work in the area and are currently working with people are like one of the best things you can do. Yeah. Do your research, look up their contracts, bigger pockets, recommendation from people like me and you. Oh, real estate agents, real estate lenders. They're a mesh of everything real estate. So there's contractors on there. Yeah. Real estate lenders, real estate agents, real estate investors, anything that you need in real estate.
anybody can say anything.
Yeah.
But Bigger Pockets has like sections on their website for recommending people.
Yes. And if the person starts doing some sketchy things, it's going to start coming out in the forums. And people are still start saying, hey, not that guy. This is what I had in dealings with them.
Exactly.
So, woo! Another hit to Bigger Pockets. All right. So back to this property. At $92,000, we're looking at $533 payment. We're looking at the management fee because we're looking to get $1,350 out of this. This property was 1,500 square feet, but once we convert the garage, it's looking to be in like 1,800 square feet. So another one of those garage conversions
are very popular in Oklahoma because a lot of these houses, I feel like people just needed housing here for Full Sail was created. And they
Yeah.
grew up a bunch of houses as quickly as they could.
Tiny houses.
And
Little bit of ones.
they're not big.
No.
They're all quite small, so garage conversion is very popular here. There's not a lot of actual because so many people want more room now.
Yep. And even though, yes, some people are like, man, I wish I had a garage, it really doesn't drive price.
It doesn't drive price. It might keep some renters from renting from you, but
it's right now.
We haven't had very long waits in between getting renters. I think our longest wait is about a month.
Yes, about a month. Even our two properties that were just out of renters at the same time, just here recently, have now been filled, and it was like a month. Today. They both moved in today in both properties. So now we are 100% on rentals again. But yeah, so, you know, as long as square footage driving rental prices around here, then...
Square footage drives it, and number of bedrooms.
Yeah, number of bedrooms, square footage. I guess bathrooms could be a player, but I don't really know if I've noticed it.
Kind of are, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be
If it's going to be a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, that might definitely be something that people would avoid. But we haven't really noticed yet. We always have multiple bathrooms anyways in most of our properties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. If there's not there, we just make them.
We just create
Magic.
Can we
Magic.
do this on a house?
Not yet. We're still going over the bar play. I know.
I like the fun house.
I know. We have a good setup that we're working on right now, and I think it's going to be kind of exciting for you guys to look at. So, with this...
It's the best house.
It's a good one. It's better than the cheap house if we can get this deal to go through.
It's the best house.
All right. So, we have our rental amount going to be $1,350, around there. Our net rent's going to be about $623, mortgage pay down about $1,000. Here are all of our costs. Down payment $18,000, holding cost $2,100 for roughly.
Now, this is at the higher point, though.
This is at the This is at the $92,000 point. So this is at our highest bid. We're not. Could we get it at that bid? Sure. Or close to that bid, but we're not there, and hopefully it doesn't go through at that bid. If it does, it's still going to be a good producing property.
We wouldn't put the escalation cost out that high if it wasn't right.
Exactly. So these are our costs: labor costs, closing costs, pay down. And here's what we end up with: a total cost of $33,699, a total monthly return of $710, equity pay down plus cash flow. It works out to be a 25% return on investment, which is good.
It is good.
Yeah, don't get all used to all these high numbers because that's not how it goes all the time. I mean, the better you get, the more likely you can get those numbers, but you can save your money for a year and a half to invest in that one property that's going to make you 45% return, but you would have made a ton more money if you would have invested in 7 properties over that year that made you 10% return. So you can't just sit there holding out for the amazing ones. Yeah, and we have about safety margin of 46%, which is huge, which means we could even maybe, we probably wouldn't lend anymore on this, or loan anymore on this. But yeah, so we have 46% that we could drop those rental prices and still make our money. Alrighty, and this is same exact house, just at that $76,000 mark. You'll be able to see the differences between them.
Which is what?
Yeah, of course we want to get it for $76,000. $492 monthly payment, management fee, contractor loan, same thing. Mortgage pay down $931. The closing cost is going to be less because we're paying less.
Right.
And the holding cost will be a little bit less because there's less of a monthly payment. So that's about that. You end up with $31,000 invested, and you end up with $740 a month. Not a big difference
No.
of the monthly cash flow.
But the ROI
but the ROI goes up by 3% because you have less invested for the most part.
Right.
So we're at about 28% there.
And we almost have
Yeah, which is crazy that you could take and be renting something for $1,350 a month, and then the market crashes, right? Something big happens, something you don't expect. Oh man, Fooled by Randomness. I love the book. I hate the person who wrote the book. He sounds extremely arrogant, but the book is good. It's true.
all of his books on audio.
Yes. So whoever's reading it sounds arrogant. I'm sorry if you're the writer and you're like, I didn't mean to sound that way, but you chose a really horrible sounding person. So he sounds arrogant, but here's the thing. Yeah. So random occurrences happen. Huge random occurrences happen about every 10, 15 years in the environment of the market in general, and you can't predict that. So you might make great money for 10 years. You might make millions for 10 years. And then if you're invested in something like the stock market and this random occurrence happens, you could lose it all. So you have to be ready for the randoms. So that's why if there's a market crash and we have to drop our rents by 50%, or in this case, 49%, we can do that. And we'll still have our property and we'll still be making our payments. We might be working at McDonald's, but we'll have our properties. There's no loss of the investment in this case. No promises. All projections. Yippers. Yay. I'll let you explain the house.
Okay, so there is a place near us. It is a kind of touristy place, but not too touristy, I would say. It's called Medicine Park. And Medicine Park is like the cheapest house in Medicine Park starts at $250,000.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it doesn't really matter what size the house is. It starts at $250,000.
Yes.
So, and Medicine Park is just a really nice area. They've got a big waterfall. They have a swimming area. They have Airbnb houses by the river.
They're cute. Huge circle window to look out above the beyond the mountains and the river.
Yes, you have a great everything up there is just
Yep.
so there's a house.
Oh, can I say something real quick? Benefits, right? This is where real estate goes outside the bounds of making money. If you Airbnb something, you can make money, and then when nobody's using it, you get to use it.
Yes.
So you get to go to these vacation spots that you don't own a house in. You don't have to pay nothing. You don't have to set up an appointment. You ain't got to lose your deposit. You just get to go use your property in Medicine Park whenever you want.
Yeah. So this house is an unconventional house is how they describe it in real estate. Because I don't really know what it's
atypical property sometimes.
Yes, it is an A-frame house, but it's made out of like
I can actually show. Never mind.
So it's made out of like silo metal.
Yes.
Is the best way for me to describe what that metal is. And it's got a foundation this thick.
I mean, the thickness of the foundation is kind of odd, but it's not really.
It's weird.
It's just weird.
But it is an awesome house. The front of the house looks like from like
because it looks like this area looks like it's straight out of the West.
Yes.
It looks like a John Wayne movie. It looks like the Singing Cowboy area. Like that's what this area looks like. So this little saloon theme is awesome for like an Airbnb.
Yes, the inside of the property. First of all, I completed all of the furnishings. The house is already completely decked out for it to be a perfect Airbnb, cowboy. It has murals painted all over the inside. We have a really big mountain called Mount Scott, and there's a mural of Mount Scott on the wall with Lake Minnetonka below it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, and then there's murals in each bedroom, and the house leaves.
They got it set out for a lot of people. I think they said 12. I would say 10, 11. I know it would. Yeah.
Adults in each bedroom downstairs, because there's 2 bedrooms downstairs, and then there's a bathroom, and then upstairs is this giant loft area where they just have beds.
Yeah.
So it's a huge house. Well, it fits a lot of people for
15. They said 1,500 square feet. I don't know if I believe it until I got the numbers back or measured it myself.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that's 1,500 square feet, but it is property. It's already set up. We wouldn't even have to do anything to this house except for figure out.
Make sure the AC is working correctly, and then maybe install a heater unit.
Yes, that's the only thing that this house before we have to do.
Yeah, fix up the outside. The inside's gorgeous, but fix up the outside.
Well, what I mean is, if you want to do it.
Oh, if you don't want to do anything, no, it's ready to go.
This house is ready to be rented.
Yeah.
So
here's the situation with this property, though. There is almost not a bank that will give you a decent loan on this property.
It is a strange house.
It's a strange.
Because it is a strange house. Renting is financing is different.
Banks like to loan on typical buildings that bring in typical numbers, that have typical projections, that they know they're going to get a return on their investment, safer bets.
The biggest reason for that is because they want comparable houses to understand the value of the home.
Yes.
So if you have a typical home, how are you going to find a comparable house to base the value of the home?
Yep. And so this makes lending very difficult. We could get a loan, but they wanted that loan to go from 0 to maturity in 10 years. I think they had a 15-year one, but it was high cost.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about $1,500 monthly payments, $1,300 monthly payments. So that's the situation with this, right? They wanted $160,000 on this house.
It's worth it. For
Yeah.
this area, for the interior, for having all of the furnishings come with it, $160,000 is not crazy.
No. Nope. And so the situation dictates that it's not going to be easy to get a loan. There should have been 4 or 5 offers on this property already, and
It should
there,
have been sold already,
yeah, there's only one offer so far,
and it looks like it's falling through.
and it fell through. So currently there's no offers on this except for ours. And the only way we were able to get an offer on it is because we were using Creative Finance.
Yes.
And so I've had videos. Now we're linked with that, even the language. So I've had videos previously on this over creative financing. Probably actually my biggest video was on creative finance.
It was.
And so it did the best. So creative financing is just different ways of financing that not a lot of people understand. And you can go to a real estate attorney and they can write you up a contract almost on anything or any basis and make real estate work.
And we do work with real estate attorneys. So we have a real estate attorney, we also have realtors, but we just do that. We're hoping that we can maybe get this deal worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this, the one we're using on this is called seller finance. And this is something that usually is used when the seller makes a good living. They have money, they make a good living.
Like it's their vacation home.
Yeah, they have money, they make a good living, and they're not trying to sell this money, or they're not trying to sell this property to make big buck banks like loads more, but they want to get fair market value at least.
Right. They don't want to sell for under.
No, and they don't have the luxury of just sitting on it because it's an annoyance. They want to get rid of it, but they can't sell it. But they also don't want to sell it for nothing.
Right.
To sell this property.
Especially if this house is not the typical seller situation.
No, yeah, it is. Older guy owns it. Older guy is going to be selling it. He bought it as a vacation home for him and his family to chill out at when they had spare time.
Usually, it's not because the house is perfect.
A lot of times it can be in pretty good shape because it's people that have money that are trying to sell their property, but they don't want to lose money on it. But there's not a lot of options for them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can be a nice property. Now your maybe some of the other methods might not be so nice properties. A lot of them won't be as nice, but these ones are usually people with money, so a lot of times they're not out of in bad shape.
Oh, okay.
So the person just wants to get what they have into it. They want to get a decent price out of it, but they don't necessarily need all that money right now for the next property or anything like that. So what you do is you set yourself up as you're going to be purchasing direct from the seller, and you're going to give the seller a monthly amount that would be more than double the amount of or similar to double the amount that you would be giving a bank every month, but the price also goes straight to the principal instead of paying because there's no interest. So how this works is, and I'll try to explain it. I think maybe I should use the whiteboard. But anyway, we'll see if I can get through this explaining it pretty well. So actually, I'll just go through the different deals we're offering. So we can offer him $140,000. That will end up being
Which is low.
Which is low, yeah. But these are the different offers we offer them because we want them to understand that we're flexible with seller finance.
Right.
So you can offer the property. I'm trying to think how to explain this. I can give them. I can pay, instead of paying a bank $900 a month and having the taxes and insurance on top of that, $900 being the interest and the mortgage or the principal. So interest and principal coming together, it's about half and half, maybe even a little bit more interest than principal. So now you're paying like $700 a month, right? $700, $800 a month for this property. Instead, we pay directly to the seller. We pay him $600 a month. So we're saving $200 a month in monthly payments. And since we're Airbnb-ing this property out, the monthly price that you're paying out is really what it's all about. Paying this property off is not really the goal. The goal is to get the lowest monthly payment as possible so you can make the most every month and every year. So we get to pay him $700 a month. So actually at 40, I can get a little bit deeper with this. At $140,000, we can give him a 15-year payments, 15 years of monthly payments.
It's a 2-year loan, basically.
Oh, you know what? I'm a dinkus. It's on my phone. It's on your phone. It's on the exact numbers are on your phone because it's the offer we sent.
Oh.
1 second. We're going to pull up the actual offer, and I'll read real numbers here. There we go. Ah! All right.
Why did you start with that one as number one?
I wanted to surprise him with a big number. So I didn't want him to. A lot of people don't know what seller finance is and can scare people away, especially when they hear, oh, they're just going to pay you every month. And it's like, that sounds sketchy. I want all my money now because I don't trust that guy. So what I started out with, I'll read the actual message so you can understand how I started this message and understand how we're trying to sell this. So seller finance, all numbers are tentative until in contract, and these are just a few options we can move. We can move these numbers more to fit your needs, right? These are a few options. They're tentative until they're locked into a contract, so you're not putting yourself at any risk or liability for offering something. So it's not an actual offer until it's on paper. The contract these options are just a few. It can be smashed and mashed any way you want it to get whatever you want out of it, right? More to fit your needs, including a down payment of up to $10,000. So we are willing to do a down payment to the person of up to $10,000, and that cost would come off of the actual cost of the property. Right. Contract will be drawn up by a real estate professional and or real estate attorney. So whether a real estate professional drew up the contract, we're still going to have an attorney look it over and ensure everything's kosher. So that's going to hopefully put them at ease, knowing that they're not going to be just dealing with some dude that wants to give them a monthly payment on a house.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we
Yes. Yep. No funny stuff here. All right. So the $140,000 amount that we're looking at is 15 years of monthly payments at $777 a month. And what that ends up being for us is taxes and insurance. It's going to end up being $923.77. A total cost, because you're going to have a higher management fee. Now, this management fee could be upwards of $300-$400. We're not sure. If it's too high, we'll just manage it ourselves. We'll bring in. We'll keep the cost not. Of course, it won't be. We'll make sure it's not too high. But management costs for Airbnbs can get up a little higher. So I put it at $250 just to give us a general idea. Gross rents. This is actually a quite small number on the amounts we can get for the property. So this is kind of a low ball number. But we didn't want to go too high on that. You always look at your smallest numbers. If it works at your smallest numbers, it'll work at your biggest numbers. So the amounts that we would have to rent this by every month would only have to be above this number right here. So the amounts that we have to rent it by just have to be above the monthly cost, and actually really just have to be above the mortgage payment, because we can always drop off the management if we had to in order to maintain the property properly. So this property is not $1,000 a month property by any means. Anybody would pay well over $1,000 a month to be in this property. So that's our safety margin. If we had to drop it to $923, we could. So that's our safety margin, right? Looking to bring in $2,000. I actually quote it at about $2,600 a month. but 2,000 is what we're going to sit right now for this estimation. The net rent is going to be about 826 cash flow. The mortgage pay down, though, here's the difference. Net rent is only a couple hundred above. The cash flow is only a couple hundred above normal. But the mortgage pay down, because you're paying all of your money towards principal, $777 a month is going towards principal. It's going to be about $9,333 we're paying off this property every single year. So, and it doesn't, change over time. It's that much every year for 15 years.
So the good thing about this, since this is a typical property, once we have paid off so much of this debt to the seller from the seller financing, if we decide that we no longer want to have to work with the seller anymore, we can then, once we've paid off so much of it, get financing for the home at a much lower price.
To bring in more cash flow if we wanted to make it more of a cash flow property.
Right.
Yep.
So we can always get into a loan later on if we want to.
Yeah, and that's always an option. We can get financing on this, but it's not a great deal at this point.
It's not a lot, right? The way that we would have to do it, it would have to be about $125,000.
Yeah.
For the property, and there's no way they're gonna expect that because that's.
And maybe they would, right? They're like, what are the odds? Maybe they would. Most likely a cash buyer is going to come in at somewhere above that. So if we want the property, and if we want to actually, and that we're all about giving value to everybody that we can. With seller finance, he can get up to $190,000 for this property when right now he doesn't even have a single offer.
Yeah.
And we're still getting a great deal out of it. And that's how seller finance really benefits both parties. So $9,333 for the mortgage pay down. Holding costs $4,156 because it is, a little bit of a payment for about 3 months till we get this Airbnb going. A little bit of a longer term. We really don't need 3 months to do that, but hey, we're going to be on the safe side. Down payment of $6,000. I put that there because actually we're paying material costs to flip this property. So that's really our material costs because we don't have a contractor loan on this. So that will be investor funds that will be paying for the supplies. Closing costs $2,000. Like I said, it's going to be a lower closing cost because there's really not a lot in the closing.
No,
you're still going.
Title search and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're still doing a title search. You're still getting the inspections and everything. You're getting the necessities, but you're maybe not getting the external lender requirements. Valuation of the property. The bank's going to want it to be reappraised to know how much the property is actually worth based on an actual appraiser.
And appraisal for a house like this is hard to come by.
Hard to come by. It's going to be an extensive appraisal. That's going to be part of your closing costs. But for us, it's not going to be because we know the value. And we're doing seller finances, which is well below what we need to get this property making money. So we're not worried about it. We're not going to get it. And you can save the seller money that way too. It's another thing they can save money on. They're still going to be paying their agent a gross amount, $14,000 to sell this property. But we can save them some money in different areas. So those are our costs. So we have a total cost of about $16,156 to get this property and get it renting, right? The rental return per month at $2,000 a month for Airbnb, which is, like I said, pretty low for my estimates, is about $1,604. That's $19,248 a year, and that comes out to a return on investment of about 119%. And that is seller finance, and that is creative finance. And that is a crazy number. So 119%. And okay, let's just say, here you go. Let's just say we can't get 119%. If at a lower estimation, we are believing that we're going to get 119%, we're believing that we can get $19,000 a year. Let's say you just slash that baby in half. Let's say we're way off. You slash that baby in half. You're still making a high ROI. And let's say you slash that baby in half. You're still making a high ROI. All we need to support the property, which is well over, worth over $1,000 a month, is $1,000 a month. That's it. So safe. Okay. I got to watch for liability here. It is on you to do your due diligence on this property. There are good, there are bad projections. What you see is my estimation. And I might be lying my butt off to get you to invest with me. And I'm going to run off with all the money to the Cayman Islands. So, okay. All right, so projections. We're going to run through these pretty fast because I'm trying not to make this super long. Hey, do we have any comments?
No.
Oh, perfect. So I'm going to run through these, trying to get this, knock this out. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're almost at an hour. Nobody wants to watch an hour of this. So, Medicine Park at $72,000. Actually, oh, it's on your phone again. That's why I need your phone. I'm just running through the other two. Yeah. So at $172,300, which we can offer the seller, that's going to be a monthly payment of $700 a month for 20 years. $190,000 that we can offer the seller. $190,000 is a $527 payment for 30 years. So the price goes up that we're going to pay for it. The amount of years also goes up, but our cost goes down. So now, and I'll just go to the $190,000. So with the $190,000, we're now looking at, oh, better bring it over so you guys can see it. We're now looking at only a monthly necessity for, so in order to hold the property, we need at least $673 a month, which is insanely low. Our total cost a month is less than $1,000. And we are now getting the same ROI because we have, because we're getting less for the equity pay down. So it really evens out for us because our equity pay down goes down, but our monthly cash flow goes up. It evens out for us, but they're going to be getting more money in the long run as long as they're willing to hold the note longer. So that's it. And we're still looking at 119% return on investment. So that's seller finance, and that's why it can work really good for a lot of people and a lot of things. So we'll see if we got this. Next time we have a show, we'll update you on all these properties. I know it went really long on these properties, but this is a lot of information that we've been collecting over the course of a week or two, and we hadn't been able to get it out to you very much, but we finally got the time to sit down and get it out to you. And we wanted to update you on all of it, especially our investors, so they know exactly where we're sitting with these properties that we are putting out offers on. Yeah. As it gets more busy, it's going to be more and more difficult for us to actually speak with you individually. Yes. I love talking to you. That's why I do the videos, because I need to talk to you, but I need to group you all together and put you in front of it. And if you want to make money and you want to do well, you'll definitely watch the videos and do your own research. If you want to get into a property that we say on this video is like, this is the worst one we've done, but we're still going to go with it.
Honestly,
It's scary. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it in the group chat. So, and you invest in that property with us, and we lose the property, and we do horrible, and we lose all our money. You should have watched the video. Also, hey, if you're watching and you're that one investor that's on our competition to win $1,000 at the end of the year for making the most money, and you don't sign our information sheet soon, we'll still wait for you, and you'll just be no man on our list. No man. All right. Hey, have a good one. Bye. Awkward pause while I find the off button. I'm sorry. Oh, now I'm lost my mouse. Come on. It was such a cool ending.